the first morning in what feels like at least a couple of weeks that we've woken up. The tent was dry and not wet and covered in cow poo.
And can you trust that you won't blow away in the wind?
Remarkably, it's actually colder this morning though than it has been the last couple of weeks. It's 6-7 degrees Celsius, but it just feels drier and fresher. I think this walkway we've chosen might be a bit rocky, but you can always pick out a sort of grass central track. It's meant to be a bridle way, so you would think it would be a little less boulderous, but anyway, we've started early this morning, probably the earliest we've started, Michelle.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, mainly because it wasn't so cold and we could get out of bed and actually well, it was colder, but it's a little bit like when we were up on the trig point up in Scotland, in that high trig point, and it was -1. It just felt so much fresher. And I don't know if it's just because we're coming into lower ground or whether the weather's changing, but I just hope for a little bit of late summer. And tomorrow night we're hopefully going to stop in Burnley in a hotel and have a rest and freshen up. So we're really looking forward to that. And for us it's actually our first hotel since we set off several weeks ago. We have stopped with a couple of friends for rest days, but we've never stayed in a hotel, and only one campsite, so it's been pretty much wild camping the whole time. There's 4 ponies ahead of us. I thought they might be wild ponies, but actually as I got closer you can see that each one of them is tethered to a rope and stake. I did wonder, I thought for a moment it was like the New Forest ponies, where they were just out loose, but nope, these beauties are tied up. Sadly they don't look too happy. Seeing those ponies there tied up, I did wonder if they might be sort of gypsies around. I think you can say gypsies, I don't think that's politically incorrect. And over here, look, there's a little gypsy caravan with the smoke coming out of the little chimney on the top. How cool is that? So I'm guessing the ponies belong to this caravan. I have seen some people that travel around England. Actually, I've seen a lady that travels with a few ponies online, and she lives in a little caravan like that, and if I remember rightly she had a few ponies as well, so I wonder if that's her. No, it was a guy in there. He didn't seem to want to talk, so, which is a shame. It would have been nice to get some story, wouldn't it? But he had the back door of the little caravan open and a fire going inside. And yeah, I think they were his ponies. Fascinating. I would love to know a bit more about the backstory, but you can't force people to talk, and it's early morning. A little twist now to our story, to our walk. The PBW, the Pennine Bridle Way. This is a nice little way to get to Land's End. We've never had a Pennine Way like this. Look how beautiful that is. Sadly, there's been an accident in this little village, so I think there's a lot of attention. Somebody's being knocked on one of the crossings. So I think it's, looking at the car, it's fairly minor. Hopefully everyone will be okay. We'll see. Black-faced sheep. Because of the accident in the village, of course, suddenly people have realised they can take this little B road to get round it. So just one car, but I mean we've had about 8-9 cars in a row. They're obviously coming out of that town and finding a way round because the police just turned up, and you can hear once the police get there the traffic will grind to a halt. I think the gentleman that was organising the traffic before was doing quite a good job. But yeah, so our little B road has become probably quite a busy little road. Now ordinarily you probably wouldn't see another car down this road today. Oh well, we've only got about 500 metres, half a kilometre, and then we turn back onto the bridle way. You're all coming to say hello, are you? Oh, you are beauties. Are you Frisians? Milking cows? You are beautiful. The cows, they always run to you, don't they? The sheep always run away, the cows always run up. And they're probably hoping we're going to feed them, or the farmer come to give them feed, or maybe they're just sociable. I think cows are just sociable actually, particularly the younger ones. Good day. You'll see a lot of traffic along. There's been a road accident back there, so they're probably diverting this way. Up in the village up here. Yeah. So those guys stopped on a bridge, narrow bridge, to have their bananas. And twice they've nearly had cars meet in the middle of the bridge, wondering what they're doing there. They've an odd place to stop really, on a narrow bridge. I just warned them there'd be more traffic than normal because of the accident.
Take the next left.
Public footpath, the Ribble Way, Far Cape Slade, 2 miles. So we're now following the Ribble Way, but it's also, oh lordy.
Take the next left.
See all this traffic because of that accident, and everybody's trying to take a shortcut. So yeah, you'll see on the signpost just ahead of us now, you see the acorn for the Pennine Way and the Ribble Way. So we're doing both walkways at the moment. And ordinarily there'd be no one on this road but Michelle and I. You'd think those lads might have moved off the bridge with the amount of cars that were going by. The black sheep with the white heads, look.
Oh yeah.
White-faced sheep. Could you imagine if our Pennine Way walk was as gorgeous as this? Man, this can't last for long, Michelle.
No, not yet.
Fluffy white sheep, very clean.
Green meadows.
Black green meadows, flat roads, really well paved. There must be something wrong. Can't even see many hills in the distance. There's a little bit of missile in the air, but all in all, very nice start to the morning. Say even the sheep are clean.
Yes, you are. That's right. You're nodding your head.
Very clean. Oh, they always pee when they're frightened. Now you see the big fella there, he's blue. And if you look on his chest, he's got sort of blue dye on his chest. And if you look around the field, you will see in the distance, probably, I don't know if I'll be able to show it, quite a lot of young ewes with blue dye on their backs. Now the colour changes from farm to farm, but that's the way the farmer can tell if the ewe has been mounted by the ram. So yeah, the information some of you may not have known. Now it looks to me, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but it looks like the ram probably has a favourite amongst this lot. Please censor this for your children. It's really a lovely section of walk since we got onto the bridle way. Sometimes it's a bit rocky, and if it's on grassland and it's had rain on it, even a bit bouldery. But as a rule, I don't know. Okay, we've only done a day on this sort of walking so far. We've done other bridleways, other sections of bridleway, but so far we're liking. Are we liking it, Michelle?
Yeah, the bridleways are good.
Yeah.
Up there with the railways and the canals.
So many people say, oh, the canals, the railways, they're so boring. And I think what they mean is they're not up in the hills, looking down in the valleys. But we find them, wow, at the very least as interesting, and in fact probably more interesting than being up to your ankles in bog up on a hillside. So share your thoughts. What do you think? What would be your preferred walking, if indeed you want to walk? We just made our way through a farmyard knee deep in cattle poo, and our path now is really just through fields. So I think the farmer was making it quite difficult to get through, though I think it was public access. But the grass around his farm was sodden with water, and cattle had trodden it into mud. So I didn't film it. There were a group of 4 cyclists coming through the opposite direction, so they were struggling, and we think we're following their wheel tracks out of here. It's another one of those Pennine experiences where really your guess is as good as ours. We do have the advantage of a pretty accurate GPS, but it's a bit boggy here. Watch out for that, Michelle. So we can always track exactly where we are. And yeah, the Pennine Way.
The jaw is being adjusted.
Oh.
Can't adjust jaw. Take a look at the map.
Take a look at the
jaw
map.
is 70 meters behind you.
Okay, it's over that way. So we shouldn't have followed the cyclists. They did look as lost as we did. You can see on the map that we should be over to our left over there. So I'm going to just pinch back and see where this goes. Probably doesn't make a massive difference. I think we're heading...
There's a signpost, one with the blue on, which will be the PBW, the little post by the tree.
So we'll stay on our route that we're on.
Okay.
It'll join up. Okay, the trials and tribulations of walking anything Pennine. Now, Michelle and I saw this in the field, and we both said, I said to her, is it a sheep or is it a pig? And she said, we both looked, we said, oh, it can't be a pig. It would get out of this field. And then we both concluded that it was an oil drum or something on legs, but just getting closer, it quite clearly is a sort of semi-black sheep. It's funny, isn't it? Because I'd have sworn it was a pig. Then we both were convinced it was an oil drum. I mean, it's got the body like a pig, and when it looks right and stands so still, it looked like a toy, like like an oil drum with 4 legs, sculpture or something. But no, it was a sheep. Poor little thing, getting confused left, right, and centre. So out of the boggy farmland, back onto some farm roads. I think this whole bridle way will jump in and out of beautiful to daggy as we progress along it, but we don't know. We'll only know when we've got to the end of it. We understand the Pennine Way. It can't be good, it has to be crap. Doesn't matter whether it's the bridle way or the walking way. Even its little brother, the bridle way, is chucking ankle deep mud at us now. Oh, the Pennine Way. It's not winter, you know, it's only the first month of autumn. Other people say to us, oh, you know, doing it in the winter time. But actually, It is not winter. So September 21st was the first day, or 22nd was the first day of autumn. So we're only in the first month of autumn technically. The real winter months have yet to come. Oh dear. Every day you hope you're going to crack that beautiful. I mean, we've had some lovely walking today, to be honest. So I'm not going to moan about it because we've had some really good walking. But yeah, they're just throwing a mucky one at us for the latter part of the day. And the only thing that frustrates us is how much it slows you down. You know, your kilometres an hour drop so considerably when you've got this to go through all the time, and you've got to either go ankle deep in mud, or you've got to try and pick a high road that you're not going to sink in up to your knees. Now Michelle will try one route, I'll try another, and one of us will come out with dry feet, because unfortunately, although boots are sort of waterproof, they are letting water in when they get too high. And we like our boots, but to be honest, in the little town we bought them in, we had the choice of these or nothing. These are a brand called Sprayway. Never heard of them before, but I've seen a lot of people in the UK selling them. Never heard of them, but they do seem quite good quality. It's remarkable the contrast today, and those beautiful wide pathways to these narrow, muddy little bridle ways, and from sort of cold, not super cold winds, to this sort of t-shirt weather for us anyway. That's probably only about 12 degrees, but the sun is out and the old sun hat's gone back on, a little bit of sun cream. Anyway, a day of great contrasts. In case you thought the bridle ways were only for horses, you'll actually see there are stiles for those that are walking the route. So, and you'll see a lot of mixture of footprints. This is Roderick, who we've just met on the way. Hello, Roderick.
Hello there.
You got a poem for us?
Yes, about when you're called to make a journey.
Yeah, go on.
And the reasons, many reasons come to mind not to make the journey, but the reasons you should lie on the journey. When journeys call, don't hesitate. With problems that you self-create, although there's many that come to mind, when journeys start, they're left behind. Along the way, the answers come, and to questions that you never sung, you learn to listen out for clues, instead of suffering with the blues. These take you on your easy way, that lead you to your destiny. So, if no answer you can see, look to the side, and there 'twill be.
So that was the lovely Roderick. You meet some people. Very interesting character. Offered us a poem, offered us it written down, but I told him I won't take it written down. I've got it here to share with you all.
For 550 meters.
That's the little man in my pocket. So yeah, Roderick, great to meet you, man. Have a wonderful journey. Reminded me of Christo.
Exactly what I was thinking.
No, you were going to say that.
Exactly what I was thinking.
If you don't know who Christo is, I'll leave a link to Christo's channel. Christo Warner, one of our lovely friends from Australia also, and also a poet, and very interesting character. Check him out. the only thing with these journeys that are up against the time, really, in a way, because we're up against the time, you can't stop and talk in any great time to people. Well, you can, but we've just had to stop, so we daren't have another. No access beyond this point. Please keep to the right of way. Which is up this steep hill.
This is a decent width path.
Yes.
Not those little narrow ones we have done.
Oh, don't be surprised if it changes, Michelle.
Follow this way for 1.4 kilometers.
It could easily turn narrow. Whew. And we're dressed for summer. That's autumn for you, isn't it? There's unusual. There's a black ram doing his job in his orange fur coat. Hello, fella. You're in with some young ones. So we've ended up in a farming town, or a farm trading town of Gisborne, perhaps. And we've now got 20 kilometres, it seems, to get to Burnley, where Michelle and I are going to have a long earned, deserved, doesn't matter how small a road we come onto, a well-deserved rest. The first sort of proper hotel rest in 7 weeks. So we're looking forward, but that's for tomorrow. Still tonight we've got to find somewhere. This is called Blind Lane. Even on the OS maps it's marked, but there's nothing here. We're not sure we should be that side of the fence or this side of the fence, and both are pretty pointless, but I think we're on the right route. We're plotting it fairly accurately with the OS maps, but there has to be a point, and I think it's over there. It said on the gate post just there, public footpath. And as far as the Ordnance Survey maps go, this is the correct route. And got to be not tempted to follow the tractor tyres or the tyre marks, which I think are misleading because they're all going to that building in the centre. Yeah, so public footpath. Interesting. Hope this isn't indicative of our entire journey to Burnley. And somebody said to us in the town, Burnley's not signposted because it's not really a town, or it's not really it's a recent, possibly a new town or something like that, a bit like Milton Keynes maybe. Who knows? I thought Burnley was famous. My brain seemed to have Burnley logged. But yeah, want to pick away, Michelle?
Oh, well, I assume we're heading for gates, so let me see. That way.
That way? Over there. So, what do you lot think? We've got to go over those mountains ahead of us as well, unfortunately. Oh, we reckon we might be able to hold 2 hours walking in our bodies, but we'll see. Because 2 hours walking, we did think was going to be mainly on sort of paved roads or sort of pathways, but this is just, yeah, oi, there we go, make a U-turn. You know, they say there's no money in farming. Every farmer I know has always said how broke they are, but I tell you what, there's a lot of money in farming. When the good times come, they can afford a great deal of wealth. You know, it's not unusual during the sort of make hay periods to completely rebuild homes out of 1 year's income. And just occasionally have these sort of slight delusions of grandeur. That's my thought anyway. Let me know if you're a farmer. Happy to argue the point. This is truly some of the hardest walking on these big boulders. They really work your feet hard, and the road's up and down all over the place. But yes, and occasionally a bit boggy. It's hard walking because you can't really get a straight route through the rocks and the mud, and they're big boulders, so they turn your heels over, so it'll slow you down. But Michelle and I are used to this. We did this, well, we've done it many times on this walk, and we're getting stronger. Goodbye to Yorkshire, Michelle. We're saying goodbye to Yorkshire. We suspect that Lancashire lays over these hills from the White Rose to the Red Rose. I can report that this section of the Bridle Way is as boggy and as awful to walk as much of the rest of the Pennine Way, so there isn't much of a respite. It seems the whole of the Pennine Way, really. I've got to be honest, I wouldn't recommend it, even the bridle ways. I don't know in the summer if it's nicer, but yeah, I would never return to the Pennine Ways. I know it sounds negative, and it's probably not the best time to say it when you're up to your ankles in mud, but people said when you got to the Yorkshire Dale section it would be nicer, and I suppose in some small part it has been. There's so little of it just an enjoyable walk, is it, Michelle?
No, I'm walking uphill as well, which is not helping, but it is just so boggy.
And when you go,
even
yeah,
unmarked.
Yeah, nothing's marked, or very rarely marked, and you've got to have your GPS or your OS maps to navigate. And there are always these huge sections that are just wrecked, really. Now this is the Bridle Way, so it's now not the Pennine Way. Well, it's the Pennine Bridle Way, so still part of the Pennine Way. But we thought we'd try it because generally the walking Pennine Way was so rubbish. And a friend of ours is walking ahead of us, a day or so ahead of us, and he's on the Pennine Way. He pretty much reports the same, that it's all a bit bog and moss and just hard going underfoot. Now I could buy the postcard, to be frank. And yes, the time of year we chose was, to be honest, we didn't choose the time of year this year. We would never have probably come at this time of year. We would have planned to do it in the late spring. Many people said it's not as nice to walk in the summer because it's too hot, but Michelle and I like walking in the heat. You know, when you talk about heat in the UK, it's not really heat, not like back home. So it's very manageable. But, oh, this, let's get up on the bank again. Oh, this is just a slog. I want to get over this hill because I don't fancy doing this tomorrow morning. Do we, Michelle?
No, we're definitely doing it tonight.
There's that nice grass down there though.
Yeah, but there'll be something over that hill.
We said goodbye to Yorkshire, but I think Yorkshire's going to let us leave at this rate. We'll say goodbye again. I'm really hoping that this is the brow of this hill. You never know with these climbs, you know. Many of you have done mountains before know how the brow just keeps coming and coming. But there is a property up here, which means they probably got vehicles, which means maybe, if we're lucky, the terrain might get a little easier. At least the path is a little easier here, a lot easier. And is that Lancashire ahead of us? Who knows? It could be. My geography is rubbish. Oh, I see Halloween stuff, Michelle. Must be coming up to Halloween. So, Halloween stuff. Oh, there cannot be more hills, surely. I don't think so. Do remember to tell us if you've been enjoying the series. I wouldn't say it was an easy one to make. It's probably going to be even harder to edit. Actually, no, it won't be harder to edit. It's probably a rare occasion where the editing is easier than the walk itself. However, neither one of them, in my books, I would consider easy. The edit's going to be a nightmare. Good night. I'm hoping it's just genuine kindness, it seems to be, and very unusual. Do we look like vagrants?